Financial expert, educator, successful investor, and best-selling author Robert Kiyosaki is about to give you the information you need to implement a realistic, achievable plan of building and growing wealth.
Kiyosaki is the New York Times best-selling author of, among other books, Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
To date, the series has sold 20 million plus copies worldwide. Today, Kiyosaki shares his revolutionary wisdom with you, just as his rich dad shared it with him.
It's information that can take you from working for money to your money working for you.
Information that can set you free.
The story of Rich Dad, Poor Dad is really a story of two different fathers with two different sets of values and completely different sets of advice. So I don't mean to insult anybody or, to damage your values, but really that was the difference. For example, my poor dad always said, go to school, get good grades, get a high-paying job, work hard, live below your means, save money, get out of debt, have a good retirement plan. And that was my poor dad's values. My rich dad said, you probably won't get rich doing that way because very few people get rich following that plan. A very important diagram my rich dad showed me when I was a little boy was a diagram known as a Cashflow Quadrant. And the quadrant is made up of the four different people who make up the world of business. So my rich dad said, in the world of business, there's E's. And E's stand for employees. An employee, he says, you can always tell who they are by their core values. And what the employee, whether the president or the janitor of the company, will always say the same words. The words are, I'm looking for a safe, secure job with benefits. That's what makes them an employee, because their core values are security. The other one of the four is the S, or the small business owner or the self-employed. And again, their core values will cause them to use the same words, which are, if you want it done right, do it by yourself. S means they're also solo. They're generally one-person act, or they operate by themselves. On the right side of the quadrant are the B's. And what Rich Dad said the B stood for was big business, or like Bill Gates. Forbes defines big business as 500 employees or more. And their words are different. They say, I'm looking for a good system, a good network, and the smartest people I know to help run my business. So they're unlike the S. They don't want to run the company by themselves. They want smart people to run their companies for them. And then the fourth of the quadrant is the I, and I stands for investor. These are people who have money work hard for them. These people are people who have people work hard for them. And these are the people that work hard for the rich here. So early on in my life, it was my poor dad who always said to me, Robert, go to school and so get a high-paying job. And so my poor dad's core value was to be an employee. He wanted job security, promotions, a steady paycheck, and all this. And so it was my rich dad who said to me, he says, Robert, if you really want to be rich, learn to build businesses. It made more sense to him to work hard to build a business, something you owned, and something you could pass on for generation to generation to your kids. Whereas my poor dad said work hard, but my rich dad said, why would you work hard for something you'll never own and you can get fired from right away? Again, that was the difference in values. So my rich dad suggested I learn how to be a business owner and learn how to be an investor. And that's one of the big differences. On this side of the quadrant, these people here work for security. They work for money also. On this side over here, their key value that they want is they want freedom. They don't want to have to work at a job anymore. They don't want to have to work for the rest of their lives. So the beauty of building a business and learning how to invest is very simply that this is passive income. You work hard for a few years, but possibly for the rest of your life, income keeps flowing to you. For people who want to make the shift over to the B quadrant, which is what I would recommend for people, one of the beauties of a network marketing company is that you can do that for a very low price. And that's why I talk to people about considering network marketing. If you're to build a Microsoft, it would take you hundreds of millions of dollars. But a network marketing company allows you to start at a very low rate. They'll be patient with you. They'll take their time to transition over here. And the reason why that time is so important to most people is it takes time to change those values. And the most important thing is once you take the time, let's say it takes 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, whatever time it takes, once you see the value or the core values of this side and this side, you're unstoppable. Today, I would never go back and get a job. Why should I? I'd rather stay on this side, build companies, pay less taxes, and make more money. But the key is a person needs to change the values from my poor dad to the values of my rich dad. And that's one of the beauties of network marketing companies. They allow you the time, and at very low cost, they'll work with you. It's not a get-rich-quick formula. You don't just do it overnight. It takes time. I still remember the first time I made that transition was back in 1978 when I fully quit my job and I had to depend upon my company that I was building to support me. So I understand the fear. The beauty, the most important thing to remember is this. There's two kinds of people in the world. There are the types that will say, you'll never make it. And I had a lot of people, a lot of friends and family saying that. You're stupid. Don't do it. And the second type were the people that said, go for it. You can do it. Don't worry about it. We'll cover you. So the most important thing is support of friends and family. One of the beauties of a direct selling company is that they provide that personal support to you for as long as it takes you to make the journey from the left side to my rich dad side. One of the challenges of being self-employed is that you're your own boss. You're the solo act. Like in the S quadrant, you're the individual. You do it on your own. Whereas in the B quadrant, you're a team player. You have to depend upon your team and count on your team. So the problem with being an S is that, let's say you're in a traffic accident, there goes your income. And let's say you get older and you haven't set enough money aside to retire on, that means you'll probably have to work for the rest of your life because you don't have anybody else to fall back on, not a team to count on. So one of the problems with the S, although most people say it's the most satisfying of all work, it is a solo act, and you're totally on your own. Personally, I'd rather be a member of a team if they can count on me and I can count on them. We all know the world has changed, but sometimes the hardest thing to change is ourselves. And being an old guy, I sort of know the older I get, I sometimes get more set in my ways. And I think that's one of the things that a direct selling business offers people, why it's the perfect business. They allow you to take your time to make the mental, emotional, and physical changes required to move from the left side to the rich dad side. I think that's a big thing. It's a very gracious, it's a very elegant way, it's a patient way of supporting you in making the changes of your life. So please remember, change always creates upset, but sometimes we all know we have to make those changes. And if you know it's time for you to make that change, then the perfect business may be a direct selling business for you.
Hello, this is Robert Kiyosaki. I'm the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad and the founder of the Rich Dad Company. I also wrote this book here called The Business School for people who like helping people. So let me tell you why I endorse network marketing, or why I call it the power of it. The reason for it is, as an entrepreneur, this word here, network marketing, is the key to making a lot of money, to being successful. It's only those people who have an employee mentality, working for a paycheck, or like a specialist or a small business guy who just wants it for themselves. They don't understand the power of network marketing. Now let me give you, this is not just for the network marketing industry. You know, when you talk about television stations, they talk about a television network. That's how big people think. They think in terms of networks. When you talk about radio, they talk about a radio network. And the same thing, my friend owns a series of gas stations. He calls it a network of gas stations. So the rich use the term network a lot. And I know one of the reasons when I started to endorse network marketing is because in many circles it has a negative connotation. And that's because a lot of times people who shouldn't be in the business join the business, or also people abuse the business. But the reason I endorse network marketing is for people who really want to get out of the rat race and really want to get on with, building a business by helping other people build their businesses. So that's why I endorse network marketing. The other reason I endorse it is because network marketing will give you the sales skills or the communication skills or the self-esteem and the emotional courage to go and knock on doors and talk to other people. If you don't have that courage, or you're more afraid of what somebody else thinks of you, you'll probably never be successful at network marketing, but you'll probably never be successful in business anyway. So I love network marketing because network marketing will take an average person like me or John and actually work with you and build you up so you have the personal courage to take the no's, to take the rejection, to not really care what, I mean, you do care, but what other people think of you. You see, the reason people are not successful is they want to follow the herd and do what everybody else does. And 90% of the people on this earth when it comes to money are financial losers. So if you're going to become successful, you cannot care what the thundering herd does. You've really got to break away. My rich dad called it the 90-10 rule. That meant 10% of the people make 90% of the money, and 90% of the people make 10% of the money. So the beauty of network marketing, there's no guarantees, but it gives you the opportunity to be in that 10%. And the way you get in that 10% is to find that person inside of you who cares more of what you think about yourself than you care what other people think of you. So the beauty of network marketing is it gives people the courage, the sales skills, the communication skills to be a leader. And that's what it takes to be successful in the world, is to be a leader. So we find out a little bit more about network marketing and why rich people love network marketing, but poor and incompetent people don't like it. Thank you very much.
Welcome to Robert Kiyosaki's The Business of the 21st Century. Robert Kiyosaki is recognized internationally as one of today's leading financial experts. The author of the best-selling Rich Dad, Poor Dad, his books have been translated into 51 languages in 109 countries and sold more than 28 million copies worldwide. Robert has spent his life educating people on how to attain financial freedom. Now, through this special video presentation, he explains why network marketing is indeed the business of the 21st century, and how you can take advantage of its opportunities to create the life you desire.
In this segment, I want to talk to young people, people who have not yet decided what they're going to do for the rest of their lives. You know, maybe you're in school or about to get in school or whatever you're going to do. But as I said, it was my poor dad always said, go to school and get a safe, secure job. Unfortunately, in this financial crisis, many young people are coming out of school deep in college debt or college loans, and they can't find a job. I saw some stats that for young men, 18 to like 25, if you're white, 19% of them are not finding jobs, even if they have a college degree. And for African Americans, between 19 and about 25, 30% of them can't find a job. So my message to you is this, is wake up. Right now, before you get a job, before you get trapped in the corporate world or trying to climb the corporate ladder and make other people happy, and they don't really care about you because they're only here to invest for these guys only want for the investors, you know. You got to make a decision. And it was in 1974 when I came back from Vietnam. Again, I said, with my poor dad, I said, go back to school, get my master's degree, and get my PhD. And I wind up just like him, desperate, out of money, not afraid of the real world. So I had to make the decision to dedicate my life to be here and to be here. And that's made all the difference. You don't get rich quick. It's harder, it takes courage, it takes time. I failed many times over here. But in 1974, I said I was going to dedicate my life to stay on this side, on the right side, on the B and the I side, and never go back to this way. So even when I was flat broke, when my businesses failed, I didn't go back here. I thought about it. And unfortunately, when I still go back home to Hawaii, I meet some of my uncles and aunts, and they still say the same thing to me. They go, have you got a job yet? I said, no, I don't. They go, oh, too bad. It's so bad you're unemployed. The point here is they can't see it. So these guys, all they know is job security. They don't know what freedom and having a lot of money is. All they know is living below their means, struggling, paying taxes, trying to save money. So I recommend to you, start your own business. Start now. Practice. It takes time. You will make mistakes. But it's one of the best experiences because if you're successful and you persevere and you're determined, you will find a freedom and an abundance of wealth these people will never know.